What's good, everybody? Y'all are tuned into another episode of Chalk It Up, where no matter if you win or if you lose, we just got charges to the game. I am your humble host, Tone the Shields, and I'm eternally grateful to be back here with you guys for another episode. On today's episode, we're going to be doing a breakdown and an analysis of the Philadelphia Eagles' first-round draft pick, Jalen Reagor. Let's dive right in. When the Eagles chose Jalen Reagor, a lot of people weren't too pleased. At first, I wasn't pleased. I gotta be honest with you. I wanted Justin Jefferson. I can't even deny it. We all wanted Justin Jefferson. We all wanted the Eagles to trade up for CeeDee Lamb. But in my heart of hearts, I knew the Eagles weren't gonna move. I just had a feeling, and I'm pretty sure you guys had a feeling too. But we got our guy, Jalen Reger. He's an Eagle now, and we're gonna double down and hope for the best from him and demand nothing but the best from him. You see, a lot of people had Reger coming out maybe in the second round, but the Eagles decided to get him at pick number 21. Reagor is coming out of TCU, and he wasn't really, I guess you'll say, the most highly rated wide receiver in the draft based off his combine results and based off of his stats in college. A lot of people thought he'd run faster, and he thought he'd run faster too, but he knew he wasn't really at the weight that he was the most comfortable with. He came in at the combine weighing about 206, but he really prefers to be in that 195 to 200 pound range. Another thing about Reagor when it comes to the combine, I like the fact that he didn't avoid the bench press. And you know those guys got to bench press 225 pounds. They got to do as many reps as they can. Reagor put up 17 reps, and I got to admit, I like that. He's not the biggest guy. He's only 5'11", but he makes up for it in strength. He makes up for it in his low center of gravity, I guess you'll say. And another thing that really caught my attention, that vertical. The bull is 5'11", he has a 42-inch vertical. As a matter of fact, Jalen Reagor put up the second best vertical jump at the draft amongst wide receivers. He's not the tallest guy, he's only 5'11", but he makes up for it with that 42-inch vertical. And I like my wide receiver strong. Like I mentioned, he did the bench press, put up 17 reps, and I don't like when my wide receiver can get out-muscled every single time in the air for the ball.
He needs some milk.
I don't like that. Philly don't like that, and we don't need that. We don't need another Ty Pinkston situation. We don't need another Nelson Aguilar situation.
Oh, hell no!
Not at all. On top of that, he even put up the second best broad jump at the draft, which speaks to his lower body strength as well, and his balance. The thing about Reagor that I really love so much, he's really not afraid of contact. He's not afraid of contact at all. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He has tremendous breakaway speed. The speed is very real, very real. He has like a second gear that he's able to get to, maybe even a third gear if you give him enough space. Tremendous balance, like I mentioned, extremely slippery for a wide receiver. It just seems every time someone's trying to get him, they just can't bring him down. He's wily. You just can't wrap your arms around him. Not one time I've seen a tackle on his footage that someone was able to truly wrap him up. Ability to turn nothing into something. Faster on tape than at the combine. Not even close. When you look at the combine, you would think he's not as fast, and a lot of people doubted or didn't really understand why the Eagles chose him if they were really going for speed. But doubling back on his 40-yard dash time, he actually submitted a virtual pro day to a bunch of teams because they wanted to see him run again. They didn't really feel like that was accurate. They didn't feel like that was true to form. Also, he came in at 206, a little heavier than what he prefers. Prefers to be in that 195, 200 range, like I mentioned earlier. And on that virtual pro day, he clocked in a 4.28 at the 40-yard dash, and then clocked in a 4.22. If that ain't fast, I don't know what is. When you look at the tape, he's extremely versatile. He's able to do it at all different levels. He's able to do it off the screens. He's able to punt return, kick return. When he sees the lane, he makes a decision and he takes it. I don't like indecision. He's instinctual. He knows how to read the blocks, and that's all you can really ask for from your wide receiver. He makes the most out of what he's given as far as his physical tangibles. And when it comes to his character, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. He was doubted. A lot of people don't understand why the Eagles picked him. I got to admit, at first, I didn't understand why, but he loves being doubted. He loves being counted out. He thrives in that environment. And I think that's the kind of mentality that fits right into what the Eagles are trying to do and what the Eagles have done these past few years. The Eagles, for numerous times, numerous games, numerous weeks, numerous months, numerous seasons, we've been doubted. We've always been the underdogs, and we've never been really given a fair shake. Same like Jalen Reagor. I think he'll fit right into the Philly culture. He's extremely confident in his abilities as well, and he's extremely confident in his hands. He had this one play where he literally snatched the ball from the DB in the end zone. Literally, he catches the ball at the high point and just brings it right down, brings it right to his body. I love that. Like I said, we cannot afford another Nelson Agholor situation. Nelson Agholor was the last wide receiver we chose in the first round. And I think prior to Nelson, we chose Jeremy Maclin. Jeremy Maclin was a great pickup. Nelson Agholor, not so much. In addition, the Reagor name is not really foreign to Philadelphia fans. As a matter of fact, his father, Monte Reagor, was a defensive tackle in the NFL for about 8-9 years. He played for the Eagles, not really long, for a season, but he made a name for himself at the end of the day. He also won a Super Bowl 41 to be exact, with the Colts. And just based off of that, winning is in his blood. Winning is in his DNA. And I truly hope that we're able to really capitalize off of Jalen Reagor's talents and really capitalize off of Jalen Reagor's mentality and his character. And I really hope the Eagles really get the most out of him. And I hope his work ethic just translates perfectly into the NFL. I really do. It's nothing worse than having a wide receiver who's too pretty, too cute. He believes more so in his talent versus his hard work. At the end of the day, hard work beats talent any day. Ask Jordan, ask Kobe. Comparing Jalen Reagor to his peers, specifically Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, and the reason I'm comparing him to those two guys specifically is because he's going to be compared to those guys for the rest of his career. The reason being because the Eagles could have picked Justin Jefferson with the 21st pick, but instead they passed on him and let him go to the Minnesota Vikings. Also, the Eagles probably could have traded up and sacrificed some assets to get CeeDee Lamb at pick 17. Well, the Cowboys picked him at pick 17, actually. They probably would have had to trade up to get pick 16. But nonetheless, the Eagles didn't trade up to get CeeDee Lamb, and they passed on Justin Jefferson. So, Reagor is going to constantly be compared to those guys, no matter what he does. All he has to do is show up and be productive for the Eagles, and he'll be fine. But the main reason people wanted Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, they're big guys. They're both 6'1", 6'2", over 200 pounds. They both ran pretty decent 40 times. But here's the thing that Reagor has them beaten. No matter how tall they are, Reagor beat those guys by a long shot when it came to that vertical jump. And he also beat them by a long shot when it came to that broad jump as well. So he clearly has a level of explosiveness that those two guys don't necessarily have. But when you put the tape on, you clearly see CeeDee Lamb's explosiveness, and you clearly see Justin Jefferson's explosiveness as well. Comparing those guys' stat lines though, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and Jalen Reagor's, CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson blow Jalen Reagor's stat line out of the water. There's no comparison. But here's the catch about that. That theory is a misnomer. And the reason I say that is because Jalen Reagor had poor quarterback play his entire college career. Justin Jefferson had Joe Burrow, the Heisman winner, and CeeDee Lamb had Jalen Hurts, the runner-up for the Heisman. So those two guys had two of the best quarterbacks in college football throwing them the ball. So can you imagine if Jalen Reagor hooks up with a guy like Carson Wentz to throw him those deep balls, to put the ball exactly where it needs to be? And I think I'm not exactly sure, but I think over 80% of Carson's passes this past season was catchable. So you guys do the math. I strongly believe Jalen Reagor is going to be very productive for the Eagles. I really do. And the guy, like I said, he's grown on me. I've done my due diligence and just surfing through this guy's Instagram, surfing through this guy's Twitter, surfing through his footage, surfing through various interviews, just trying to get a sense for who he is, not just as a player, but as a man. Some of the things he believes in. And one of the things he truly believes in is himself. And I got to bet on that. I have no choice but to bet on that. So I'm glad you guys were able to lock in with me for another episode of Chalk It Up, where no matter if you win or if you lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields. And listen, y'all got to make it back for another episode. I got so much more coming out for you guys. I'm going to do a Jalen Hurts video as well. I'm going to do several videos about a bunch of the guys the Eagles picked up. But I hope you guys truly enjoyed this video about Jalen Reagor and my humble opinion about him. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the show. I'm eternally grateful. And make sure y'all stay live, stay humble, stay healthy, and just stay hungry, y'all. One love.